All right, guys. So in today's live stream, we're going to be talking about the secrets to investing on your own. Now, a lot of people will be utilizing ETFs, mutual funds. They'll be investing through their jobs. So, most people don't want to invest on their own. They don't want to be the expert. And investing on your own, you don't really need to be the expert. You just need to, utilize resources to help you make your investment decisions. So, if you want to continue, investing through your job or, you know, investing through things like ETS where you just have like a basket of stuff, which is, I think, it should be a good portion of your portfolio that you use those type of things. That way you're not exposed to too much risk. But if you want to invest on your own, here's, three things that I do to make sure I'm getting the best return, right? And the assets that I'm investing in are, you know, a good investment. So yeah. So number one, the first thing I do to invest on my own is that I get a subscription or a membership to whatever whatever asset I'm in. I want to get a subscription to a news source that gives me reliable information. So let's just say you're invested in stocks. I would say, the Wall Street Journal would be a good news source, and the Bloomberg terminals. Those are a little expensive, but if you have the money, I would definitely pay for that. Now, to touch on the expensive part, I don't think nothing's really too expensive unless you're paying like hundreds of thousands. Well, I wouldn't say hundreds. Maybe like if it's over $10,000, I would say it's too expensive. Like you don't want to go too crazy with, paying for news sources. But I would definitely say don't go cheap on that part. And I'll give you an example of what I did. So, like for me, I invest in crypto. So what I did, I bought a subscription to this thing called the Palm Beach Research Group. And who runs that is Tika Takwari. You're probably familiar with him with him if you're familiar with the crypto space. He's a pretty good researcher when it comes to crypto. Now I think there's some reviews online to say, oh, he just wants your money, and you're gonna get that for all, like, if it's a person behind, like if it's one specific person behind the news source, you're gonna get that, oh, that person's a scam. And the only way you're gonna figure that out, you could go with what people are saying, but really the only way you're gonna figure that out is if you pay for the news source and you figure out, if that person's a scam or not. And I can tell you, Tika's not a scammer. He definitely, he has experts research in the space, and the information he provided me has been very valuable. Now, I paid $2,500 for his subscription. It was a one-time fee, and then it's $250 to maintain that subscription. So, $2,500 for the average person may be a lot of money, but again, if you want to invest on your own, you got to pay that money so you have that reliable resource to make those investment decisions. So I thought 2,500 was not a lot of money. I definitely made that back in a whole bunch more. So I definitely think it's worth it. So, and then the 250 maintenance fee a year, I don't think is a lot of money, especially he gives like updates every 2 weeks. So, I think it's very worth it, especially if it's a space you're going to be in for a long period of time. Like, why not pay for the money so you can have the best, news display, like, at your hands when you're making your investment decisions. Like, if it costs $2,500 a one-time fee, and all you got to pay is $250 to keep that membership, then I think it's worth it. So that way you're not getting in, getting into assets that are not going to perform the way you want them to perform. Now, why do I do this? Is because it filters down the amount of assets that I have to sift through. So for instance, like I get a handful of assets from Tika's membership, So let's say I probably get like 40 to 50 crypto projects that he recommends, and I basically, I don't have to sift through all the crypto projects in the space. If you go to coinmarket.com, there's about over 1,000 projects to sift through. Now, you can go through all those projects and do your own research, but why would you want to waste all that time? Like once you, maybe for like younger folks, they don't, I can't even say that too. People just in general, you know, you shouldn't want to waste time. Like you want to get as much time back as possible. So if you don't have to sift through thousands of projects to see which ones are viable projects to invest in, why not pay for a subscription service to narrow that list down? So I go from thousands of projects to 30 to 50 I have to look at to make an investment decision. Now, obviously, I'm not investing in all 40 or 50. You could do that, but again, that'd be too diversified for that'd be too like you might as well just be in an ETF if you're going to do that. But it just narrows my list down. So from there, what I do with the membership, I have okay, in the crypto section, I have 5 different sectors that I may be looking at. It may be like, okay, payment coins, DeFi coins, Oracle coins, whatever the case may be. Those, let's just say you have 4 or 5 sectors, and then what his subscription service does for me, it gives me the top plays in those sections. So now I went from 50 recommendations to, okay, I only want to look at the top 3 plays in these 5 sectors. So now I went from 50 coins to 15, and then from there you can make your investments, right? Well, we're going to slow down because I have 3 things that, for the secrets. But that's the first thing I do. I get a membership for that specific space because, again, I'm not, and the reason why I do that is because, like, Tika has, he has millions of dollars, and then also he has connections that you're not going to be able to get, right? Like, he's able to get into a meeting in Davos, Switzerland, where all these important people go in the crypto space to talk about what's going on in the space. And then all these other, like, these meetings, these conferences, he's able to get into those meetings. His employees are able to get in those meetings. So, it's valuable information that you can't get on your own unless you're paying $1,000 a conference to get into that conference. So if you could pay $2,500 and then it's a $250 maintenance fee, again, I'm not pushing his stuff. I'm saying whatever field you're in, if you're in real estate, if you're in stocks, if whatever you're in, pay somebody so you can get information that you can't get on your own. You can't fly to, all these states to get information, or different countries to be at all these meetups to get the information to make the best investment decision. So that's why I do that first, right? That's the first thing you want to do if you want to invest on your own. You want to get a subscription service for any asset class that you're in. Obviously you want to pick, a reliable person, go on Google and see, okay, what's the reviews, but ultimately you won't know until you pay the money and see what the subscription service is like. For me, I think the Palm Beach Confidential subscription service is worth it. For you, it may not, but again, I don't have to sift through thousands of projects to see, which ones are viable to invest in. All right, so that's number 1. Number two is you want to see, if big players are investing in the space, right? So, for instance, if you are, and the way you do this, like let's say you're invested in a specific stock, right? You want to go to like an index fund manager page, whether it's like, for instance, a Vanguard or a Fidelity, and look through their funds and see if those specific projects that you are investing in, or companies that you're investing in, are in one of their funds, right? So this big group that has all this money is invested in this fund. And like, you got to think about it too. A lot of the projects that you're investing in the market cap is like hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. The only way you're going to move, the only way that price is going to move is if you have big players coming in the space, and the fact that a big one player, like if you find that one player is a big players in this the company invested in the company, that's already a good start, right? Because that could potentially mean other big players might have interest in that specific company as well. So for me, after I got the subscription for Tika's stuff, I found out, some good index fund managers in the space. One of them is Bitwise, so I went to bitwise.com, and they have funds there. A lot of it's public information. You just got to look for it. So I went to their website and I said, okay, they have a DeFi fund. They have a top crypto fund. They have all types of funds. And I'm like, okay, let me click on the fund. Let's see what cryptos are in their fund. Right. And obviously I'm looking at the top cryptos that they're investing in. They have the weighted portfolio. So you could see, the top weighted project that they're investing in. And right, I'm matching that up to what Tika is recommending. And trust me, there are similarities in what he's recommending and what they recommend. It's not always a one for one. So I'm not going to say that, but it's just another piece. And the more big players you can find that are investing, the better. But I at least want to find one huge player in the space that's actually investing in the projects that I want to invest in. Because again, in order to move the price, you need big players in the space. Retail can move the space. You could get a scenario where you have GameStop, where you have people like the retail investors pumping up the thing, but that's rare. You're not going to get that all the time. So you want to make sure. I wouldn't be hoping for, a chat group to pump the price. You're investing on your own. You want to make sure the money you're deploying out is going to, return you some good returns. So, definitely don't rely on a chat group or somebody to pump it up. Make sure a player's in the space. For me, I went to Bitwise. They're very reputable in the space. They actually they were one of the people that got their the BTC spot ETF approved. So you can actually see that on their page as well. And they, again, they're reputable in the space. They're putting, millions, tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in the space. So that's number 2. Make sure a big player is in the space. All right. Number three is you want to do your own research, right? So after you got the subscription, you're paying for a subscription, whether it's monthly, yearly, to get the best news. 2, you want to make sure a big player's in the space. And then 3, you want to do your own research, right? So now you're putting all these 3 things together to make the best decision. So what I do, again, I got to relate it to crypto because that's what I invest in. But I can give you an example for, stocks too. But for crypto, I make sure I go to the Discord channels. The Discord channels are where, the project has their own page. You could go in and see what, the updates that are happening with the project, the most up-to-date news, and you can see what's going on with the project. And then also in the Discord channels, you can see when they're going to do meetups. The meetups will be by the devs, the developers of the project. So they'll do it on YouTube. They'll do a live stream, and then you could join the live stream and see, okay, how far are they into actually completing what they said they're going to complete on their roadmap. So all those things is what I do. The Discord, the YouTube, Twitter, they might come out with stuff, and then maybe a Google search too sometimes. But again, I keep it to Discord, Reddit. Reddit might be a good place too. But any place, it doesn't really need to be a specific, outlet. It's just you doing your own research, right? Because again, it's secrets to investing on your own. So, doing your own research has to be part of that. So I'm not just relying on Tika's membership. Oh, Tika said these 50. I'm just going to pick one of these out of these 50 and then just hope for the best. No. I'm making sure there's 3 parts to it. I'm making sure, okay, he says this, right? He has experts behind it. So, okay, you get that assurance. And then two, you get the assurance that a big player is investing in this project. And then three, I did my own research and I'm keeping up with the actual project. I'm in the meetings. And then for stocks, it would the equivalent to like Discord for stock. I mean, stock channels do have Discord channels, but it's a little bit different for crypto projects. But for stocks, maybe you look at the earning, like you join the earnings calls. And, a lot of people don't look at the earnings calls, and they say some key stuff in those earning calls where you can, get an advantage that other people won't get because let's be honest, who's going to be listening to the earnings calls? But that's what you have to do if you want to invest in your own. You need to be keeping up with the project. So whatever you got to do. I remember I was in a crypto project and most of the people are in Thailand and their meetings were at 2:00 in the morning. And I would join those, right? Because I was heavily invested in the project. So yeah, you got to do what you need to do to invest on your own. You can't just, hope for the best. But yeah, those are the three things that I do. Let's see if there's any. Nope, no comments. Nobody's here. But yeah, those are the three things that I do to invest on my own. Again, I'll repeat them again. Get a subscription to something. Stocks is probably going to be something like, Bloomberg on the high end, and then like a Wall Street Journal on the low end or whatever, some subscription service, or maybe some person is offering like picks and they're reliable in the space like I do with Tika. And then two, make sure a big players in the space for stocks. Again, it's going to be like a Vanguard, a Fidelity, and then crypto. I use Bitwise investments to see what they're investing in, and then also for these index fund managers, they re-index their portfolio every month. So you got to keep up with that to see, okay, did they drop off the project or company that I'm invested in? And that's good. That you got to keep up with that as well. And then three, doing your own research. Doing your own research is key. Making sure you put some of your own time in to make sure that the project is good, because you just don't want to go off what somebody said, even though you paid money for the subscription, even though you paid money or spent time to see, okay, this big players in the space, they could be wrong too, and you want to have your own opinion on what you invested in. But yeah, those are the three secrets to investing on your own. If you invest on your own, make sure you consider these three things, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.